All right, folks, welcome back. By the way, coming up in the next hour, right at the top of the next hour, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, congressman, former congressman from Florida, Fox News analyst. He will join us. He'll be here. Christopher Parker and I will discuss various issues, probably involving race, and not the last on the list certainly is the remarks made by Richard Sherman of the Seattle Seahawks. We'll talk about that. And then Gerald Molen, an exclusive interview with Gerald Molen, the producer of Schindler's List and the producer of Obama 2016, the movie that was made by himself, contribution charges. So we're going to talk to Gerald Molen. He has very definitive things to say about what he believes is behind this legal action against Dinesh D'Souza. So we'll talk about that. I do want to just mention right here, here's the story from CNN that I was talking about. Some Affordable Care Act to cover birth control and other reproductive health coverage that they objected to for religious reasons. That is the result of a Supreme Court decision today that extended the injunction for a Catholic charity run by nuns. I had mentioned that I thought it was that. The exemption stands while the case is being considered by the lower courts. It's a clear victory for the religious groups who brought, but hope his services are okay in that low-tax state in which he resides. Anyway, joining us right now, folks, is Daniel Kish, Senior Vice President at the Policy Institute for Energy Research. Hey, Daniel.
Hi, Steve.
How are you doing? Good?
I'm doing okay, despite the fact that I live in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, well, I hear you. All right, well, this is dynamite, and you know, this is from the Canada Free Press. It's called Smoking Gun, and it's what's revealed in new documents about the Obama agenda, and it's revelations made by a senior EPA official, John Beale, who was, by the way, sentenced to prison last month for defrauding the federal government of almost $1 million while posing as a CIA agent. But nonetheless, talk about what those documents show and what he has revealed.
Well, it really was fascinating. And it kind of, you know, there's an old saying that in Washington, a faux pas when someone tells the truth. And and Steve, what we were astounded was after he was sentenced and so he had nothing to gain by saying this. He was deposed by a congressional committee, and what he said was his job, and he was at the right hand of the current EPA administrator, and he was in charge of the global warming, climate change parts of the EPA's agenda, and he said that the third phase of his project that he was assigned by her, in his own words, things which could have been done administratively to kind of modify the DNA of the capitalist system. In other words, without the benefit of law, without the benefit of Congress passing a law, without anything else, his job was to look into ways to fundamentally transform the economy by using regulations out of the EPA. And my jaw dropped, and I think a lot of people's did, at reading this, and the nonchalant way in which he simply said it, as though this is the sort of discussion that happens at the EPA all the time. You know, you ask any coal mining family out there across America who's seeing what's happening to that industry, and you talk to anybody in the energy industry in general about the assaults that have been happening here at home, and you conclude that they would have thought that this was happening anyway, but this is not the way the founders set up our system.
No, without a doubt, and I think his choice of language is very, very interesting because this is what he was tasked to do, and I believe it came from right at the top, and the choice of words, you know, to modify the DNA of our capitalist system. I believe that's the goal of the President of the United States and always has been, and he'll do it through energy, EPA, any agency he can.
Yeah, well, because we follow at the Institute for Energy Research, we follow the energy side. We've just been astounded at the moves that have happened in that direction and things that are going to really have long-term consequences for our ability to compete in the world and the rest. I mean, just yesterday, the President it was revealed that the president discussed in a recent New Yorker interview that he recognizes that shutting down coal plants in the United States won't have any impact on the climate. But he hopes that it will send a message to the Chinese and Indians regarding coal. It's just stunning.
Oh, it is. It's like, well, wanting to legalize marijuana in more states because some people who smoked it illegally are in jail. It makes no sense, and it's all about his agenda. Listen, we'll talk at length at another time. I thank you, though, Daniel. Very interesting and very important story.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks for getting it out there.
My pleasure. That's Daniel Kish, ladies and gentlemen, Senior Vice President at the Policy Institute for Energy Research. When we come back, Alan West, and he will weigh in on this whole Mike Huckabee nonsense on the part of the media. Steve Malzberg's show.
The Steve